Yesterday we have discussed the causes for defeat of Rajputs. Broadly, I will just revise that what are the main factors for defeat of Rajputs. That even though financially, human resource wise, Rajputs were nowhere inferior to the Turkish people, but only the major defect with respect to Rajput is lack of central leadership. Because in early medieval times, we have seen that in political system, it was the age of feudalism. In feudalism, so many Samantas were there. Under king, many Samantas used to work. That is why different titles Raja, Maharaja, Maharaja. Whenever the main central king wants army to be mobilized, centralized army will not be having huge numbers. Central king also maintains certain numbers, certain military, but mainly he has to depend on Samantas. That is why these Samantas used to mobilize combinedly large number of soldiers. But when it comes to the unified command, these soldiers listen to their immediate Samantas rather than to the main king. That is why in maneuvering, in handling the military tactics, the central king will not have full autonomy. Even though they give the instructions to the Samantas, but there is no guarantee that the Samantas will percolate those ideas to their soldiers. This was the major defect when it comes to Rajputs when we compare with the Turkish people. And if we see Turkish people, they have centralized command, they have slavery system, even though we are not supporting the slaves system. But in that context, in 13th century and 12th century, that system provided them stability, because these slaves were very loyal to their central leadership. As a result, many people were mobilized as slaves and independent mercenaries were also there, but central command always maintained. That is why even though numbers were inferior sometime, but still they were able to defeat Rajput kingdoms. Another important is, within Rajputs also, there is no unity. Suppose if you take Chauhans, no central leadership within Chauhan. But Chauhans Gahadwala, Chauhans Paramara, Chauha Cholankis, these are different kingdoms. Even Turkish people established their authority in Delhi. Still, Gahadwalas, Chauhans, Paramaras, Solankis did not come together to oust Turkish armies. That is why for Turkish people, it became targets of one by one. They defeated Gahadwalas, they defeated Senas, they defeated Paramaras, they defeated Solankis. Likewise, independently, they continuously started defeating. Because the third reason is the lack of strategic perspective. They don't know really the meaning of the breach of Khyber Pass. Today we know our history. That's why we were very cautious about the developments in Afghanistan and Pakistan-Afghanistan boundary. But at that time, Rajputs did not have strategic significance of breach of Khyber Pass. That's why even Turkish people came till Delhi also. Still there is no unified command. They never understood that if more powerful people come from northwest, it becomes threat to their own existence. That kind of lack of perspective created trouble for the Rajputs. Finally, Rajput kingdoms were annihilated. Delhi Sultanate was established. Sanju, this is broadly yesterday's topic, that how Rajputs were defeated. I explained very detailed all these points. All right? Now today, the first Sultan of Delhi Sultanate is Qutbuddin Aibak. Now when it comes to Qutbuddin Aibak, you draw mapping, because this will give you idea that initially Delhi Sultanate was not a separate entity. It was part of Ghurid Empire, Central Asian Empire. Like, do you remember during Kushana time period also, Kushanas controlled Central Asia, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Kashmir, and till Uttar Pradesh area. So Gangetic Valley is not a separate entity. Gangetic Valley, Kashmir, Central Asia were part of single empire, that is Kushana's empire. And at this point of time also, same thing, till even though the Ghurid forces reached Bengal, but Bengal to the westernmost, the Afghanistan, Khorasana, Transoxiana, all these were part of single empire. But later developments enabled Indian subcontinent to get separated, or Indian, the present day Indian and Pakistan areas become separate entities called Delhi Sultanate. That's why first let us have some kind of geographical knowledge, then we can easily understand these developments. First you make Mamluk dynasty. There are different names. It is also called slave dynasty, Mamluk dynasty, Ilbari dynasty. Likewise, multiple names are there because of different names of different rulers. Mamluk dynasty. Initially, Ghurid Empire. So don't get confused with the present day boundaries. These were the present day boundaries, but at that time, there was no this boundary, continuously expanding their territories. That's why they started from here. Ghor, Gajni, Lahore, Multan, Tarain, Delhi, Kannauj, Lucknowty, These are different areas. This Ghurid Empire, they were trying to expand this side also, and this side also they expanded. Now in 1206, Ghori Muhammad, he died. During his time period, he and his slave commanders expanded this territory. They built huge empire. They built a huge empire. Now, his slaves, immediately after, now you remember just a repetition of history. Alexander also expanded from Europe to northwest. But immediately after his death, what happened? What happened to his empire? His entire empire disintegrated into 4 different independent entities. That is what is going to happen when a strong leader dies and if there is no successor, immediate successor, strong, powerful successor. Now during Muhammad Ghori, he was very powerful and he expanded. But now, after him, his own slave commanders started influencing the capital Ghor. And one person had the control of Ghor and Ghazni, and some person has the control of Multan and Sindh region, and one person has the control of Lahore, Delhi, Tarain, these areas. And the person who got the in charge of these areas is Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak. And he got the in charge of these territories, Indian territories, particularly from Lahore. And this area under a person called Kubacha. Kubacha. And this capital region, a person called Yalduz. Because these people are important, and continuously now Delhi Sultanate has to get away of control of these people. Then only Delhi Sultanate becomes independent entity. So these are the immediate contenders for the throne. Yalduz in Ghazni Ghurid region, that is the core area from where the Ghurid Empire is operating. Now you observe, the person who commands this area naturally try to command entire empire, because Yalduz felt that he is the real successor to Muhammad Ghor. And immediately after his death, now Muhammad Ghor succeeded in this area by Yalduz. Now Yalduz, he did not succeed, but he was the more powerful slave, but the successor of Muhammad Ghor is depending on Yalduz. Now Yalduz felt more powerful and he wanted to control entire empire. And now Ghori Muhammad died, his slave Kubacha, he controlled Multan and Sindh region. He wanted to carve out independent kingdom, because as long as he was living, he was loyal to Muhammad Ghor, but Kubacha was not loyal to Yalduz. Yalduz is another slave, Kubacha is another slave, Qutbuddin Aibak is another slave. So these are slaves. Now there is no need of Kubacha having loyalty to Aldous. That's why now once again it becomes military contest among these slave commanders. Only sword can decide who is powerful and who is going to rule. Now, under these circumstances, what is the condition of Qutbuddin Aibak? Qutbuddin Aibak was given the in charge of these territories. Now, Muhammad Ghaur, after his death, Aldous wanted to give the similar kind of instructions to Qutbuddin Aibak, but now different Central Asian politics enabled Qutbuddin Aibak to become a separate entity. How? Now, Aldous is here, Kubacha is here. At this point of time, Qutbuddin Aibak made Lahore as the capital. Delhi is not the capital at this time. Lahore is considered more strategic because it is close to Ghur also, and now it can be controlled this side areas as well. Now, as a result, what happened? From Lahore, Qutbuddin Aibak is trying to control this area. When it comes to this part, Khalji people, Bakhtiyar Khalji, he was the one who invaded eastern parts. As a result of Bakhtiyar Khalji, many Khalji people came and settled in this region. So this Khalji people, Qutbuddin Aibak had to now handle Kubacha. Kubacha wanted to expand his territories, Lahore and towards this direction. Aldous wanted to control entire Ghurid Empire. And now far away, now you see Khalji people, if you consider central government is here, now they are very far. Now they felt that it is advantage for them. Now they were trying to behave independently. That's why Bengal region always creates trouble for the Delhi Sultanate people. This is another challenge. Now, you observe here, this territory, Gahadwalas were removed, Chauhans removed, Chendelas, Bundelkhand region was conquered by Delhi Sultanate. Naturally, the Rajputs, who were ousted by Delhi Sultanate, and they are not going to accept immediately. Now they are looking for opportunity to immediately fight against the Turkish forces. But even though now you see the Rajputs condition, even though now threat is imminent, now this is the condition, even now also Rajputs will not come together. They want to fight independently, but not as a joint force. Gahadwalas will fight separately, Bundelkhand Rajputs separately they fight, Chauhan Rajput separate. So from Rajasthan area, Madhya Pradesh area, Uttar Pradesh area, different Rajputs try to revolt against the Turkish military, but they did not give a unified command to oust Delhi Sultanate or at this point of time, Ghurid military people from the Rajput territories. That is why now it becomes easier for the Delhi Sultanate in comparison with the unified command. It becomes easy to handle one by one revolt. Now we observe for Qutbuddin Aibak, we are focused on Qutbuddin Aibak because our concern is this history. Now Qutbuddin Aibak had to deal with Kubacha, Aldous, Khalji people and Rajputs, the ousted Rajputs. Under these circumstances, how Qutbuddin Aibak created a separate Delhi Sultanate? It is our concern. Now you give the next heading, the contribution of Qutbuddin Aibak. Now this is what important for our examination point of view. These are the terminologies which we are going to write in the examination. And whatever I have given here, This is for understanding purpose that how, in what circumstances the nascent Delhi Sultanate establishment was there. Now how? Now it becomes almost 100 years. When it comes to Mamluk dynasty, 1206 to 1290. This was the time period. From 1206 to 1290 time period, most of the energies for Delhi Sultanate goes for consolidation of whatever they have gained till here. And gradually they are going to expand towards this direction also. But most of the concentration goes for consolidation and establishing Delhi Sultanate. And only after 1290, when Alauddin Khalji comes, his concentration goes towards Deccan. So that's why by Khalji time period, by Tughlaq time period, the entire Delhi Sultanate, now Delhi Sultanate is going to become separate entity, this area going to become separate entity. Now our concentration is going to be once again the Indian territory at this point. Understood? Clear here? Now I will give you a few points about Qutbuddin Aibak. These are the points you are going to use in the examination. Write this. Under Qutbuddin Aibak, few points. He was a favorite slave of Muhammad Ghori. He was a favorite slave of Muhammad Ghori. He was a favorite slave of Muhammad Ghori. He had played an important role. He had played an important role in the Battle of Tarain. Which year? Battle of Tarain. Which year, Sanju? (1191), first Battle of Tarain, and second Battle of Tarain, 1192. Yes. So he played an important role in Battle of Tarain. And subsequent expansion of Turkish conquest in northern India. Now we are not talking about Delhi Sultanate as of now. You observe this. We are talking about Turkish conquest, Ghurid Empire, likewise. In 1206, Muhammad Ghori died. In 1206, Muhammad Ghori died. The Ghurid Empire faced threats. Ghurid Empire faced threats both internally and externally, after his death. After his death. After his death. After his death. His own slave commanders like Aldous, in bracket Ghazni, in that location, Ghazni, comma, his own slave commanders like Aldous in Ghazni, comma, Kubacha, in bracket Sindh and Multan, and Qutbuddin Aibak, in bracket Lahore, comma, Indian territories. His own slave commanders like Aldous, Kubacha, and Qutbuddin Aibak competed for control over Ghurid Empire. Control over Ghurid Empire. At this time, the challenges faced by Turks, faced by Turks can be summed up as the following challenges. Now we are talking about challenges faced by Turks as follows. Here Turks means the Ghurid Empire, and these are the people. Around the same time, what happened? Here, from this side, Mongol threat is about to come, and broadly we will sum up as follows. Number one, breaking up of Ghurid Empire. So this divisions is not only related to Rajputs, Indian kingdoms. You will find always this kind of, when central government or when a leader is powerful, they expand their territories. After their death, if successor is not as powerful as his predecessor, the powerful military commanders try to break up the empire. Alexander Empire happened similar way. After Mauryans also same. After Guptas also same. Now Ghurid Empire also similar condition. Breaking up of Ghurid Empire. This we have given Yalduz, Kubacha and Qutbuddin Aibak. This is one threat. Second one. Like, now you observe this. Like within Rajputs there are differences. Now same problem with Turkish nobility also. Factionalism in Turkish nobility. Factionalism in Turkish nobility. We will write who are different type of people. Factionalism within nobility. And there are different, now you see the empire. Khorasana, you mention here, Transoxiana, Khorasana, this side Iran. Now you observe this empire. Here Khorasanian people, Transoxiana people, Afghanistan people, Hindus, Buddhists, or we call Indians. And now here in Afghanistan itself, there are so many tribes, always prevailed in mountainous regions. And within Afghanistan also many tribes. And within this area, Central Asia also, many tribes are there. One example is Khalji people. These are all part of Turkish nobility. But when it comes to within Turkish people means who came from Turkish region, Central Asia, there are so many differences among them. One example is the differences among Qutbuddin Aibak, Kubacha and Alduz and other slaves. Now they are going to fight for the power. Factionalism in Turkish nobility. Who should lead? Someone support Qutbuddin Aibak, someone support Kubacha, someone support Alduz. Nobility factionalism. Someone supports Khaljis. Breaking up of Ghurid Empire. Factionalism in Turkish nobility. Third one, Rajputs. In bracket, ousted rulers in India. They are trying to get their territories back. That is another threat. Another threat. And fourth one, Mongol threat. And it is going to become more and more severe after Qutbuddin Aibak. So this is the challenges faced by Ghurid Empire. Now under these circumstances, now these are the challenges, and they are facing threat from Central Asia Mongols and Khwarizm Empire, and within this multiple challenges are there. Under these circumstances, what is the impact on Indian territories? Impact on India. Our concentration is always impact on India, but initially our Indian territories were themselves were part of other empire. That's why we have to know about that empire condition. Impact on India. Due to these challenges faced by Ghurid Empire, Qutbuddin Aibak was forced to make the Indian territories a separate state. A separate state called Delhi Sultanate. Called Delhi Sultanate. Second point. First you understand this, then you write the second point. If you are part of Ghurid Empire, everything, the administration, the policies, the conquest, everything, it goes according to the policy of the capital, of the empire. Whether you are in Bengal, whether you are in Lahore, whether you are in Sindh, whether you are in Khorassan, Transoxiana, everywhere the policy of Ghur and Ghazni, these are the core areas from where the power is emanating. The capital of Ghurid Empire, Gajna. So Ghur and Gajna are two powerful power centers. From there, all these territories were ruled and the policies will flow from this location. But now when you become a separate entity, what happens? Your administration is going to be different one. It need not to be a replication. But no doubt it influences, because after Mauryan Empire disintegration, Satavahanas emerged. But Satavahanas did not replace completely the Mauryan Empire. They have taken the inspiration from Mauryan, and Mauryan traditions continued in Satavahana time period also. Similarly, even though it becomes separate entity, it continues the policies of Ghurid institutions, but it need not to be same replication. It is going to alter according to the circumstances of this location. Same is the case with Satavahanas also. They have taken some policies of Mauryans and some of them they created their own according to the geographic location of Deccan. Now same is the case here also. The Central Asian, now once it becomes separate entity, it is forced to create its own institutions, own policies, own bureaucracy, own administration according to the needs of this territory and according to the challenges faced by this state here and according to the people geographic location. The people who are living in this geographic location. Now you write the next point. Separate state called Delhi Sultanate. And this Delhi Sultanate established its own institutions. Established its own institutions which suited the Indian conditions. So ultimately we are boiling down to Indian traditions, Indian customs, which suited Indian conditions. Institutions which suited Indian conditions. Third one. Delhi Sultanate was forced to follow was forced to follow new policies of the state new policies of the state according to the needs of time and people. According to the needs of time and people. In bracket, people means here subjects of Delhi Sultanate. At that time, today we are calling citizens. And at that time, people were considered as subjects. Today we are having like fundamental rights, fundamental duties, these modern concepts. But at that time, they consider people like subjects, and the main purpose was to extract as much revenue from the people, and people have their own way of life. And we cannot compare 21st century standards for 13th century. New policies according to the needs of the time and people. Last point. And once you take, now you establish your own entity, you cut off from Ghurid Empire. Now, whatever already existing previous policies, earlier what is happening? Rajput dynasties were there. Indian traditions were going on for thousands of years. Now we are in 1300. Now you see 1200, 13th century. Now this is the geographic location. Now you go back 1000 years from now. 1000 years from now means post-Mauryan period. Now you go back to even 1000 years even backward, Vedic time period. And if you go 1000 years even backward, Harappan civilization, Chalcolithic culture. Now in this timeline, 3000, 4000 years, a unique type of socio-cultural order is already established in this geographic location. Now obviously, only rulers are changing. They are bringing new institutions from this part, but ultimately they are going to convert those institutions according to the needs of these people who already established their own way of life. That is the last point you note down. Now mixing of new traditions with old traditions, a new type of socio-cultural order will establish. Last point, impact on India. A new socio-cultural order, a new socio-cultural order evolved a new socio-cultural order evolved after the establishment of Delhi Sultanate. After the establishment of Delhi Sultanate. The first ruler of this Delhi Sultanate was, last point, like conclusion. Now impact on India is done. The first ruler of Delhi Sultanate was Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak. Now, Sanju, are you getting? Under what circumstances Qutbuddin Aibak established Delhi Sultanate? All right. Always keep in mind that when it comes to Delhi Sultanate, initially there was no separate state called Delhi Sultanate. These territories were also part of Ghurid Empire. but because of internal factors and external factors, and this part was forced to become separate entity called Delhi Sultanate. Now, Qutbuddin Aibak. Under this, we are writing the contribution of Qutbuddin Aibak. Already you are writing under Qutbuddin Aibak contribution. The contribution. First I will explain, then I will give you the bullet points, important points you can note down. First you understand this. Now, Qutbuddin Aibak was made in charge of these territories, and these territories they conquered. Initially, the capital was Lahore, not Delhi. When Qutbuddin Aibak was there, from here he was trying to control these territories, because he had to handle Kubacha also, Aldous also, the Central Asian politics also, and now newly conquered territories also. Between 1206 to 1210 developments. Initially, he was a slave. Qutbuddin Aibak was a slave of Muhammad Ghori. Now, as a slave, you cannot become a sultan. You observe this. As a slave, no sultan. You cannot become a sultan. If you want to become sultan, you have to get freedom from this slavery status. So to become, you need to get freedom from slavery. Then only you are eligible to become a separate sovereign ruler called sultan. Now, when it comes to, for all practical purposes, ruler, or suppose a master can give the freedom to the slave by giving a particular permission. That permission is called manumission. To give the freedom, master can give the permission to the slaves to become free. That institution or that concept is called manumission. Manumission is freedom. It's a permission by the master to make slave as free person. Before he died suddenly, Muhammad Ghori, he died suddenly. Do you know why he died? Muhammad Ghori, now he's expanded his empire. So many territories conquered. Now obviously there are so many differences. The customs here different, here different, here different, likewise different. And some people near present-day Afghanistan, Pakistan area, people called Kokars. Like today we are calling people like Bengalis, then Punjabis. Likewise, there were in so many tribes. At this point of time, like we are calling Turks, Khaljis, Sindh people, likewise, they were called Kokars. There was a revolt against Muhammad Ghori. And when he went to suppress this revolt, in that revolt, one of the peoples from Kokars region, they killed him. That's why suddenly he died. Now he did not give any permission to become these slaves as free people. Now how to handle this? How can you become a separate sultan? That's why even though we are considering Delhi Sultanate was established by Qutbuddin Aibak, but he did not take the he did not take title Sultan because he was not a free. He did not take the title Sultan. And he has a different titles according to his bravery and his generous. Like he was called a lakh baksh or lakh data. That means he used to donate lakhs of rupees, or in that currency, lakhs he donated to the nearest one and to the needy people. That's why he earned the title lakh baksh. Likewise, he has taken. And when it comes to Sultan, the particular title he has never taken because he's a slave. After 1206, when he practically made this part as separate, for all practical purposes, he is controlling it. He is behaving like Sultan, but he did not took the title. Now, after some time, 1207, 8, 9, at that time period, in Ghuri itself, some problem emerged because of the court politics. As I said, challenges faced by the Turks. Within the central government itself, some kind of disturbances. Qutbuddin Aibak made this central government stable. At that point of time, the successor of Muhammad Ghori gave freedom or manumission to Sultan or Qutbuddin Aibak. He got manumission and chatar. This manumission and chatar means giving permission to Qutbuddin Aibak to become a sovereign. To become a sovereign. Because now central government itself getting the support of Qutbuddin Aibak in favor, Qutbuddin Aibak was made in charge of all these territories and he was given freedom also from the slavery status. And he got manumission and chatar from Ghurid Empire. Now we call Ghurid Empire. Now he got legal status also. Earlier, practically he was controlling. Now he got legal also. These territories came under Qutbuddin Aibak. Now once Lahore is the capital of these territories, gradually he has to look after different territories. Now all these territories were already militarized, garrisoned, and Delhi also garrisoned. And Delhi also garrisoned. Once more and more soldiers come and create a kind of city, today we are calling it as Mehrauli. Mehrauli. And he laid foundation for first city in Delhi. Because in Delhi, there were at least 7 cities were created by different rulers. For example, Qutbuddin Aibak, he laid the foundation for one city within Delhi surroundings, that is Mehrauli area. And when Alauddin Khalji comes, after 100 years, he created his own fort called Siri Fort, that is another one. Then Tughlaqs created another type. When Mughals came, Shahjahanabad, for example, today Red Fort, where Red Fort you will find for every August 15th, Prime Minister give the speech from Red Fort. And that Red Fort is in a separate city called Shahjahanabad. That was created during Mughal times. Within Delhi itself, multiple times different cities created. At least 7 times this happened. And first time in medieval times, he laid the foundation for Delhi. And in Delhi was chosen because this is very near to this area now to control over the rebels. Rajputs were the rebels. He has to control. That's why Delhi was chosen. Now from Delhi, they can go to this direction also, this direction also, this direction also. Earlier Lahore was chosen because they had connection with Ghor. Now gradually concentration is going towards these territories rather than towards this direction. They wanted to make this entity as a stable one, and rather than worrying about the developments in Ghazni and Ghor. That's why Delhi became important strategic point. From there, these areas were controlled. He laid the foundation for the first city. It is also the place in the same Mehrauli he started Qutub Minar. He started Qutub Minar. And he also patronized literates like Hassan Nijami. There was one author, Nijami. And when it comes to Nijami, he has written a book called Taj-ul-Masir. Taj-ul-Masir. Now you observe this. This is entire Ghurid Empire. But within Ghurid Empire also, wherever people felt more prosperous, wherever people feel more secure, they used to migrate. For example, this is today's India. Someone from Tamil Nadu can go to Delhi, can go to Gujarat, can go to Madhya Pradesh, anywhere, wherever they get the opportunities. Similarly, a person from Punjab can go to anywhere, wherever they felt better opportunities. And at this point of time, gradually Delhi Sultanate is going to become one of the prosperous and more stable state. And obviously, since ancient times, that is going to happen. Once you reach Gangetic Valley has the resources, enough resources to make the particular state more stable. That is why Magadha Empire, first empire in our history, Magadha was built Gangetic Valley based. Guptas, Gangetic Valley based. Delhi Sultanate, Gangetic Valley based. Mughals, again Gangetic Valley based. And even British also, in the initial phases, British controlled Bengal, French people controlled Pondicherry. But in that battle, wars and battles also, Pondicherry will not give that much revenue in comparison with Bengal. British controlled this. That's why it became easy for them to defeat French people also. Once again, importance of Gangetic Valley. Once whoever reaches here, they become prosperous. Now, once you become prosperous, they attract more and more people. That's why more and more Central Asians people used to come, migrate towards this. Within Islam also, like in case of Hinduism, Alvars and Nainars. Who are these Alvars and Nainars, Sanju? Yes, they are devotees of Shiva and Vishnu. They are Bhakti saints. Bhakti saints. So, within Hinduism, Bhakti tradition emerged. Similarly, when it comes to Islam also, a new type of Bhakti kind of tradition, that name is Sufi tradition. So this Sufism, it did not born in India because the Islamic lands, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Khorassan, Central Asia, this is the area where Islam is spread. And in these locations, a new type of Bhakti type of movement in Islam emerged that is called Sufism. Now these Sufi people also used to migrate towards Delhi Sultanate because they felt that in Central Asia, so many politics, wars and battles, continuous wars and battles were going on, disturbances were going on. As a result, they come towards more prosperous and peaceful state. That's why Delhi Sultanate started attracting Sufi people also. In fact, this Qutub Minar also was built in the honor of Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki, he was a Sufi saint. He was a Sufi saint. Now you observe this, how Delhi Sultanate is gradually becoming one of the important kingdoms, not only in India. India means, now you compare this geographic location and this geographic location, north and south. Here also different kingdoms are already there. Yadavas are there, Kakatiyas are there, Hoysalas are there, Cholas, Pandyas are there. Now Delhi Sultanate is going to become one of the important kingdoms within India. But not only within India it is gaining the prestige, but even in the Islamic world also, Delhi Sultanate is gaining the prestige. And more people started recognizing it. Now more and more people are looking for better employment opportunities, better safety, and better living standard. Now they are choosing Delhi Sultanate as their destination. That is how more and more people migrated during Delhi Sultanate time period. Amir Khusro, do you know Amir Khusro? Who is Amir Khusro? Any idea who is Amir Khusro? He was a writer, yes. He was a poet, and he based in Delhi, but his ancestors came from Central Asia. For example, Qutbuddin Aibak, he is going to make Lahore, these areas as his home. Later Iltutmish going to make Delhi as his home, but they are born in Central Asia. Likewise, all Turkish soldiers are here. Now they are going to attract more and more poets also, more and more Sufi saints also. Central Asian people are taking Delhi Sultanate as their destination. Once these people come, naturally, already this area is rich in culture. Buddhism was there here, in this also. Jainism was there. Hinduism more dominant. Now new tradition Islam, religion-wise Islam is coming. Ethnicity-wise, Turkish people are coming. Iranian people are coming. Afghanistan people are coming. Saudi Arabia people are coming. Central Asian people are coming. So many new type of new races, new ethnicities, new tribal people, new scholars, philosophers, all these people are started coming towards Delhi Sultanate. As a result, Delhi Sultanate benefited. Because once you attract the best talent, obviously you are going to benefit. Now you take the example of USA. In the beginning times, USA was few people from European countries they went, but in 20th century and in 19th century, it attracted the best talent from across the world. Today also many people are choosing America as their destination, and most of the talented people are choosing America as their destination. As a result, what happens? The advantage is for Americans, because best technologies will emerge, best institutions will emerge, best military defense equipments are manufactured. So different traditions, best literature is emerging. When you attract the best talent, naturally you are going to become stronger. That is how USA is one of the most powerful countries on the earth itself today, because it attracted the best talent. Same thing, once you are stable, all people will not go to every country. People will choose that particular type of country where you feel more comfortable, more confident, and you feel more prosperous. That is why people are happy to go to America when people are getting the opportunity. Same is about to Delhi Sultanate also become. As a result, Sufi saints also came. Now once Sufi saints, new order is coming, socio-cultural order is also emerging, new cities are coming now, new kind of architecture is coming now, new literature is coming now, all these new traditions are coming, but unfortunately, Qutbuddin Aibak died within few years while he was playing a horse polo. He got injured and he died. That's why he did not have much time. Only for 4 years he was there. But in these 4 years, he tried to make Delhi Sultanate as independent, even though he did not take the title Sultan, but he was, for all practical purposes, he was like a Sultan of Delhi Sultanate. After Qutbuddin Aibak, his slave, Iltutmish will come. Iltutmish is considered as the real founder of Delhi Sultanate because he got the time. Gradually, Iltutmish, because through his diplomacy, he made Delhi Sultanate as a separate entity. Central Asia is a separate entity. He is considered as, the next ruler is considered as real founder. But in these 4 years, Qutbuddin Aibak ensured stable, at least he tried to make it more stable entity. So these are the important points with respect to Qutbuddin Aibak. Please note down few points. So this is for your understanding purpose. I just explained. Now the same points I will give in short points format. First one, establishment of independent Delhi Sultanate. Establishment of independent Delhi Sultanate. He received manumission and a chatar. He received a deed of manumission, write this, a deed of manumission and a chatar. Chatar or chatri. A deed of manumission and a chatar from Sultan of Ghur. From Sultan of Ghur. With this, he was recognized as a sovereign. As a sovereign. It ended his slavery status. It ended his slave status. Ended his slave status. Last point, most important. This finally ended the legal claim of, it ended legal claim of Ghurid Empire ended the legal claim of Ghurid Empire over the Hindustan. over the Hindustan. So now he is very brave, courageous person. Now he ensured with his bravery, Hindustan is a separate state, Ghurid Empire is a separate state. This early break, this is just before 1210 only. Muhammad Ghori died in 1206. Within 3-4 years, this happened. This early break with Ghur and Ghazni, these are the places in present-day Afghanistan. This early break with Ghur and Ghazni and Central Asian affairs had a long-term consequences on Hindustan. So establishment of Delhi Sultanate. Now you observe this. Qutbuddin Aibak is given the status of establishment of Delhi Sultanate. Establishment is done. Now administration. His administration. Now for any state at that point of time, you have to protect the life and the property of the people, because now you observe this. He made Central Asia a separate entity and this entity. But as I said, in the early days, now whatever Turkish challenges as Ghurid Empire was facing, now the same challenges with respect to Delhi Sultanate also will come. Turkish nobility will be there and same problem will come. Now that problem will transfer to this also. So many Turkish nobility, now there is no unity among the Turkish nobles. And power politics within the Turkish nobles, that's why he had to face within Turkish nobles also the challenges within nobles. Second one, external threat is the revolt against the Turkish military from the Rajputs. Rajputs earlier were ousted by Turkish armies. Now Rajputs are looking for opportunity to attack the Turkish armies. Now under these circumstances, his main focus goes to protect the life and property of the people. So he ensured that. Now when it comes to his administration, he protected the life and property. He protected the life and property of his subjects. He laid a rudimentary civil administration. Through his military officers. In the initial days, everywhere military people only. Conquering, they used to reside in one place. That is how this Urdu also, the new type of language, Urdu also emerged because of these camps. People used to, soldiers used to reside in camps, and now they are talking Central Asian language, they are talking Persian language, they are talking, some people are talking Arabic language, some people now Indian language. Hindi is emerging, Braj Bhasha is emerging, Sanskrit is there. Now it's a kind of mixture, a new type of language is emerging gradually, Urdu, because of this interaction with new people. Now under these circumstances, he had to safeguard the life and property, he did it. Rudimentary civilian administration through military officers came. Local administration was left in the hands of village panchayats. Village panchayats, like pre-Delhi Sultanate era. Already before Delhi Sultanate, local establishment, panchayat system is going on. Local self-government, we have seen in Cholas also, similar kind of tradition was there in northern India also. Likewise, the pre-Delhi Sultanate establishment era, village panchayats continued. He granted partial civil liberties. Granted partial civil liberties to the Hindus on payment of jizya. Payment of jizya. Jizya tax imposed on non-Muslims, and whoever paid, some civil liberties were given to them, because in the initial phases they cannot completely give the freedom also, because at any point of time revolt take place. That is what is going to happen. Whenever foreign alien people come to new area, they are going to curtail the liberties, because they don't want to take the risk of rebellion. Administration. Local administration continued, granted civil liberties. Next, he did not assume the title of Sultan. He did not assume the title of Sultan. Instead, he took titles like Malik. Instead, he took titles like Malik, like normal titles, like every other common soldier. Malik. Sipa Salar, and Lakh Baksh. Malik, Sipa Salar, Lakh Baksh, but not Sultan title. So he was one among the soldiers. Likewise, he is administering. He administered from Lahore. He administered from Lahore. That's why Delhi Sultanate initial capital is Lahore, not Delhi. Overall, he was considered as just monarch. He was just monarch of his times. So we should not compare with 21st century standards at that time period. So this killing, when it comes to this Lagbaks, Satish Chandra, if you read this, he killed lakhs of people also, and he donated lakhs of rupees in the present day circumstance. So likewise, he donated lakhs also, he killed lakhs also. So in the same personality, on one side, when it comes to military, that kind of cruelty, when it comes to administration, this kind of generosity. Last point. His contemporaries praise him. For his liberality and gallantry. So these 4 years only, because it is the establishment. That's why you require some kind of better understanding how Delhi Sultanate is getting separated from the Ghurid Empire. Now once Delhi Sultanate is established, now it's all about how they dealt with various socio-economic setup within India now. His administration. Then next one. Contribution to arts and culture. And within that 4 years, he made some kind of contribution to art and culture as well. Contribution to arts and literature. Culture. Literature. He extended patronage to learned people. He extended patronage to learned people. Hassan Nizami. Wrote a Persian book named Tajul Masir. Tajul Masir. During his time period. This is literature. Architecture. architecture. He started the construction of Qutub Minar. Started the construction of Qutub Minar in 1199. It was in the honor of Sufi saint Qutbuddin Bakhtiar Kaki. Bakhtiar Kaki. That's why the term Qutbuddin is Qutub Minar. And incidentally, his name also Qutbuddin Aibak. But he could not complete it. That's why we are just writing started. Because he died suddenly. He could not complete it. Later, Iltutmish completed it. Iltutmish completed. So Hasan Nizami, and in fact, we know about all these whatever stories, whatever developments we are talking, what is our evidence? One of the important evidence is this evidence only, Hasan Nizami Tajul Masir. He has written his biography and he has written the development that took place during that time period. And it is one of the important primary source to understand Delhi Sultanate time period. Same like, now you remember, can you give, how do we know about Samudragupta? Sanju, what is the source of Samudragupta and his conquests? Very good. Harisena. Who was Harisena? Samudragupta. He was the court poet of Samudragupta. Samudragupta patronized Harisena. Harisena has written great things about his master. So likewise, and when it comes to Harshavardhana, who was the person who wrote about the history of Harsha? Harsha Charita, written by, could you recollect? Bhanabhatta. Bhanabhatta, he was the one who has written Harsha Charita. Again, he glorified his master. So since ancient times, this tradition is there. Now during Delhi Sultanate time period, during Qutbuddin Aibak time period, Hasan Nizami, Tajul Masir. And he is going to live after Qutbuddin Aibak also, and he mentioned about Qutbuddin Aibak also. We know details about Qutbuddin Aibak from people like this. Architecture wise, started Qutub Minar. Yes, please go ahead. Just a second. Echo is coming. Yes, please. Can you ask the doubt now? Yes, he has written about Qutbuddin Aibak. It was a historical account, and he is writing about how Delhi Sultans came from Central Asia, how Delhi Sultanate was established. Tajul Masir. Next point, architecture. Last one. He laid foundation he laid the foundation of the first of so-called 7 cities, so-called 7 cities of medieval Delhi. 7 cities of medieval Delhi. It was called Mehrauli. It was called Mehrauli. And it is in the same location only Qutub Minar also located. Today, whenever you visit Delhi, you can visit Mehrauli. There you will find Qutub Minar. So within 10 years, so now we are gradually moving towards socio-economic, but in 4 years, nothing much is going to change socially, economically, anything. But in the 4 years, his main contribution is practically making these territories of Hindustan separate from the Ghurid Empire. Now, after Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish will come. Once Iltutmish comes, then he is going to make this territory completely independent. When it comes to Qutbuddin Aibak, practically he made this territory independent. Now, when it comes to Iltutmish, he completely cut off the relationship with Ghurid Empire, and in fact, to the advantage of Delhi Sultanates, that the Ghurid Empire itself is going to be liquidated. Now, Ghurid Empire itself is going to be vanished. Now, when there is no Ghurid Empire at all, then there is no concept of Delhi Sultanate being part of Ghurid Empire. Because this Ghurid Empire is going to be attacked by people from Central Asia, a new dynasty will come, and that new dynasty is going to be eliminated by Chengiz Khan, Mongols. That is how this territory itself going to come under Mongols. Now there is no concept of Ghurid Empire at all. Now completely Delhi Sultanate is independent. Now it is going to become one of the most powerful empires or kingdoms, or at that time it was called Sultanate, one of the most powerful sultanates in entire Islamic empires. So this is why Delhi Sultanate commanded the respect of Islamic world, because it is important not only within India, in entire Islamic world itself, it is commanding more respect. Because when other Islamic kingdoms became victims of Mongol attacks, but it survived that tradition, that is why many people, and just now we have seen that like people are coming, gradually coming to India. During Iltutmish time period, more and more people used to come. More and more people from Central Asia, they will come and settle in Delhi. That is why Amir Khusro's father also comes from that area. Many people, the Turkish people, since the beginning, more and more people are going to come. Now, once you become established authority, more and more people take refuge in this particular Delhi Sultanate. Now, once more and more people will come, now the social setup is going to change, economic setup is going to change, culture is going to change, new languages, new religions, everything is going to change. That is why the impact on India we have written, the socio-cultural order is about to change now. Now you write, different categories of people. So this is about Qutbuddin Aibak. Before going to Iltutmish, next Qutbuddin Aibak in 1210 he died. Immediately after that, now this once again problem will come. Whenever a ruler dies, succession wars and battles are going to become very, very common. Whether it is, for example, when it comes to ancient India, we don't have proper resources. But when it comes to medieval India, we have clear-cut references. That's why if you observe, when I was teaching ancient India, I did not talk much about the personal details of the rulers or people. Do you observe, Sanju? When it comes to ancient India, we don't know, like Harappan people, we don't know exactly who was the ruler and what is his life. We don't know exactly the details of Vedic people also. But we broadly talked about their society, their agriculture, their economy, their art and culture, Mauryan's art and culture, Mauryan economy, Mauryan administration. But I did not talk much about the life of Ashoka, the life of Chandragupta Maurya, life of Bindusara, for example. At least Chandragupta Maurya and Ashoka, we had some personal details. But when it comes to Bindusara, father of Ashoka, we don't have much details, and we did not talk much about it. And this is because historically we don't have much records. But by this time period, by medieval time period, people started writing more and more about the personal details, and it is relatively new. Suppose 321 BC, that means how many years? Almost 2,300 years. 2,300 years surviving any particular evidence is difficult. But this is 1,000 years only. We are in 1300. This is 2000, 2023, so 2000s. That means 1200s, 800 years only. So it is more new in comparison with the ancient India. That is why we have more and more details about Delhi Sultanate, particularly about the personalities also. That is why we are able to talk more things about medieval time period. In these 4 years also, we talked about Qutbuddin Aibak and the relationship with various other people also likewise. Once Iltutmish will come, after Qutbuddin Aibak, now we are going to talk about some more details about Iltutmish. But by this time period itself, Delhi Sultanate became a place where it attracted a different set of people. So you give the next heading. Different categories of people in Delhi Sultanate. Now you draw map. We need to little bit extend towards Central Asia as well. Draw this map. You draw like this. This way. We will not draw the upper part, but our concentration is Central Asia. Saudi Arabia, Africa, so here when it comes to this location, Indians, once Delhi Sultanate established, Indian, some people converted into Islam, Indian converts. So religion wise, Indian converts and those non-converts. Religion could be, Indian converts means Islam, other people means Hindus, Buddhists, Jain, etc. Now you remember about ancient Indian religions, etc. This set of people are living here. Now, Iranians and Iranians are also going to come to Delhi Sultanate. Turks, and these are the people. That's why we are talking about Turkish invasions, Turkish advancement. Kutubuddin Aybak is a Turkish. Iltutmish is a Turkish. Gori, Ghazni, all these are Turkish people. Now with establishment of Delhi Sultanate, Iranians will come, Turks will come. Here, Afghans will come. Arabs, now you observe this. Arabs can come through this route also and through ocean route also. In fact, since ancient times, Arabs and Gujarat always, Indus Valley civilization, you remember? Indus Valley and Mesopotamians always connected. At this point of time, Arabs, those who are following Islam, so Arab people also will come, because this is the kingdom which is following religion Islam. Now this Islam, in this region also Islam, this region also Islam, naturally people will find natural affiliation, inclination to reach, to see this particular establishment. Now Africans, particularly Abyssinians, and again they can come towards this direction also, they can come towards this direction as well. Different categories of people now. Now you observe this. When Aryans came, so just recap, when Aryans migrated from Central Asia, Aryans, non-Aryans, two set of people. And who are those non-Aryans? Indus Valley people, Chalcolithic people, Neolithic people, tribal people, anywhere. Those who are not following Rig Veda, you can simply consider. And Rigvedic people called them as Dasa and Dasyus. Now you observe this. Similarly, when Turkish people came, and those who are not following Islam and who wanted to control or preserve their religion and wanted to follow their own religion, but they had to pay the tax called jizya. Turkish people or establishment called them as protected people or jimmis. So jimmis. Now in the official language, now I am writing here In the official terminology, Turanis, Turkish people were called Turanis. Then the Iranian people, the original Iranian people, Iranis. When it comes to Turkish nobility, what we mean, Turkish nobility means the differences within Turanis also. This is major problem. And there is conflict between Iranis and Turanis also. So here when it comes to Turkish nobility, we talk about Turanis. But if you talk about Delhi Sultanate nobles, Delhi Sultanate nobles. Now you talk about Iranis also, Turanis also, Khalji people. And these Khaljis, some historians considered they came from Afghanistan, some consider they come from Turkish. That means they are part of Turks, some historian. Some analysis says they are from Afghanistan. But because of this confusion, Khaljis, they maintain their own identity. They are neither Iranians, nor Turanis, nor Iranis, but a separate identity, Khaljis. So, Turanis, Iranis, Khaljis, Indians, it can be like Jimmis, you call them Jimmis, and Hindustanis. So, they can consider both people, you call them Hindustanis. And Arabs, Africans, they are also there, but more dominant in the Delhi administration is these people. Turanis, Iranis, Khaljis, Hindustanis. These are the most dominant people when it comes to the administration. In the initial times, obviously, Turanis are going to dominate naturally because more people, more military soldiers, they don't want to rely on other set of people also. That's why Turanis are dominating. And along with that, Iranis also will be there. Iranis and Turanis, these are the two people dominate the Delhi Sultanate in the beginning establishment. Now Khaljis, initially Khaljis and Hindustanis were sidelined in the initial phase, like first 100 years. And after that, Khaljis will become more powerful. They become the sultans, Alauddin Khalji, for example. And once Alauddin Khalji comes, and they have seen the disadvantage for last 100 years, they were sidelined. Now, once Khaljis came to the power, they opened the administration to everyone. Turanis also, Iranis also, anyway they are in the administration. Khaljis also, they open the administration open, Hindustanis also. And Africans, and Arabs were not much, only very few, but they are not going to become dominant feature at all. But people will be there. Naturally, so many people from across the world, people used to come. And in fact, Europeans also, Marco Polo, for example. Marco Polo is a traveler, and he used to visit India during this time period in 1300s, and he is going to write about the Indian conditions. So Europeans are also there. And in fact, much before these people, Zoroastrianism was there, Jewish people are there, Christianity was there, all other types of religions were also there. But when it comes to Delhi Sultanate, Turanis, Iranis, Khaljis, Hindustanis, Africans, these are going to become important. Till the rise of Khaljis, the administrative offices were under control of Turanis and Iranis. Once the Khaljis will come, they opened the offices to everyone. That is why there was a question also, we are going to see that, Khalji revolution. Why that name revolution? Because up to this point of time, everything controlled by few people, but now the offices are open. It became more synthetic. Now Delhi Sultanate became really Indian in character. Throughout ages, Indian character means open to everyone. So that is now, once again, the Indianness, Indian character is emerging. It takes time, 100 years, 150 years, it takes time to reach. By Tughlaqs will come next. Tughlaq dynasty, they are from, again, Turanis. They are Turanis, but different dynasty names. And once Tughlaq comes, by that time, the Delhi Sultanate character becomes so much open. That's why more and more nobles from Hindustanis also, Africans also, you will find. And in fact, by Firoz Shah Tughlaq time period, the Prime Minister of Firoz Shah Tughlaq is from Telangana region. The present day Telangana, a convert from Telangana, he became the Prime Minister of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. And he became so powerful, and he was there in almost more than 15 years, or around 2 decades, he was there in that important position. So that shows now, at this point of time, North India only. Now once Delhi Sultanate becomes gradually towards south also, now southern people are also going to become part of administration. So geography is very, very important to understand these people. And some Africans, in the Delhi Sultanate history, some Africans play crucial role. Iranis, Turanis, Khaljis play dominant role. Hindustanis play dominant role. Some Africans also play dominant role. Some women rulers also play dominant role. But at this point of time, you understand different categories of people. Turanis, Iranis, Afghans called Khaljis at this time. Then Afghanis also will become later. You write Afghans also. Hindustanis, Africans. Now all these mixture now going to play dominant role in Delhi Sultanate administration. Sanju, is it clear? Now who are these people? When Delhi Sultanate came, different set of people came to Delhi and Delhi Sultanate. Turkish people came, Iranian people came. Now with these Turkish Iranians, when it comes to the professions, people might be different. Some people are soldiers, some people are scholars, some people are philosophers, some people are Sufi saints, some are common people, just in the better employment of, some are traders, horse traders. So likewise, their profession might be different, but ethnicity-wise, if we want to categorize them, so within Turanis, you will find horse traders, you will find soldiers, you will find administrators, philosophers, Sufi saints. Within Iranis also, you will find again all these. Within Arab people also, you will find all these. Within Indians also, you will find all these people. Profession-wise, different professions. That is why Iranian horse trader, Hindustani horse traders will have interaction. A new type of relationship will emerge. Turani administrator, Hindustani administrator will have a different type of relationship. And this what we call nobles. Delhi Sultanate nobles. So all these set of people, common people are also these type of people. Now you add with professions, now you will understand how our Indian society during Delhi Sultanate time period. If you understand this much, our Delhi Sultanate is going to become very easy. On top of it, just you include one more. Now these Turks and Iranians are going to get a threat from Mongols. Mongols. These Mongols were under Genghis Khan. They are going to sweep all these territories. These are called Mongols. On top of it, but the Mongols, Sanju? Now audible? Audible now? Not audible? And this is the crux of medieval India. If you understand this part, then our entire medieval history is very, very simple. Our entire medieval history is interaction among these people only. Is it alright, Sanju? Tomorrow I will explain once again this part so that you will have a better idea if you miss something. Alright? Alright, Sanju? Do you have any doubt? Okay. Alright. Tomorrow we will meet. Tomorrow once again I will explain this so that if something misses because of audio issue, tomorrow you will get clarification. But you just have this diagram in mind. Medieval India is all about interaction among these people, nothing else. It's going to be very simple if you understand this one, but that's it. Alright? Alright, very good. Tomorrow